Hello there. Welcome to Thanks for Listening podcast. I am Nikki Nicole, and I am so glad to see you here. Thank you for taking time out of your life to sit with me for a little bit and talk. I want to just let you know what the Thanks for Listening podcast is about. If this is your first time here, I just want to let you know my goal is to build a community of people who want the same things, same values, same goals, not necessarily specifically, however, the goals that's going to lead to self improvement, self growth, and happiness. And if you're looking for that, you're in the right place, baby. Yes. So, welcome. We're going to have conversations about everyday life, everyday struggles, successes, how to manage through those things that happen in our life, tips on how to improve your mental being. And honestly, if that's what you want to do, then this is the podcast for you. So let's just get right into it. Today, I wanted to talk about human connection, right? It's so important that we connect with each other. And that's one of the reasons why I started the podcast, is to connect. And when you think about it, this day and age, it's so easy to reach so many people all around the world and get your message out. Get your message out, listen to them, build relationships with them. It's so easy to do so because social media and the internet have made it that way. And I want to tell you, when I was younger, I didn't see this happening. And I love it. Honestly, I wish it was as broad as it is now, because I was definitely one. I had a literal camcorder and I would record. And anybody that knows me knows that I would do the same things that were on these Vines and TikToks and YouTube. I would do those same things in my room. Unfortunately, I do not have those tapes anymore, so I cannot show you that. But trust me when I say I used to do it, okay? And just, it's so, the opportunity for people to connect at the level that they are right now using social media and YouTube and the internet is something to definitely be in awe about. I didn't know it would be this big, and I've tried to jump on the wave so I can connect with people all over the world, which I have on different videos on my socials. But doing a YouTube is something completely different. And I'm so excited, and I want to have these conversations because my goal is, if I could just help one person. I'm trying to be relatable so that you can feel comfortable listening and taking my advice. And, when you look at social media and the internet and how beneficial it is for connecting with people all over the world, you have to look at also how it can be a bad thing as well. Because what you're lacking when you're connecting with people around the world via your phone or your computer is the actual interaction. You see, I'm in this room by myself. There's no one here. However, I hope that there will be an abundance of people to watch eventually. So while we watch, and I've watched, like when I watched the Mel Robbins podcast, I feel like she's right there with me, but she's not. I feel like she's my friend and she checks on me because she says, "How you doing?" But she's not. So it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, yes, the opportunity is there to connect, but the step to take it to the next level of actual physical and interacting with people in real time, that's up to you. That's up to you to take that step to do it. You can't do it from inside your house. You have to go venture out, okay, into the big scary world. And I know it can be overwhelming, but when I tell you it's worth it, it's so worth it. And I keep this book. I'm looking at this book because I have to stay on track with the topics that I want to talk about, because like I say before, I love to talk, and I have been working on speaking with intention and not just rambling on. So in order to help speak with intention, I have to sometimes keep it on track. So don't mind me if you catch me looking down. I'm looking at my favoriteest production book. So I wanted to talk about how not only is it the social media and the internet that's causing the lack of interaction, but the convenience of everything, right? You got Uber Eats, you got DoorDash, you got Amazon, you got grocery delivery, all the packages, everything that you need literally can be delivered to your door. And not only can they be delivered to your door, you don't even have to go outside and sign for them. You don't have to interact with the delivery person. When I was a delivery driver, I barely interacted with the person, and sometimes they would leave little snacks and little thank you cards and things like that. And there were some that would go above and beyond and meet you out there, and if it's the holidays, maybe give you a gift card or a card because they appreciate your service, and that's great. But that's the thing, is it's all about you taking that step, right? It's all about that person could have just put the snacks and the thing outside, like I've seen and like you may have seen before. But instead they took it a step further and went outside to interact with that person. And that's a beautiful thing. But the choice and the ball is in your court. You have to take that step. So just keep that in mind. People who work from home, who are creating content, sometimes they get wrapped up in the production that they're doing at home. Okay, I'm working from home 9 to 5. By the time 5 o'clock hits, it's going to be traffic. I don't really want to go anywhere. There's so many reasons that you can create that are going to cause you to be like, I don't need to go outside today. And then if you think about it, you work 40 hours, maybe some overtime. I mean, time is not waiting for you to come outside. Things are happening outside. People are making connections. We're interacting, we're building, we're growing. And you don't want to miss that just because you're sitting in the house in the comfort, which is nothing wrong with that. But you just have to find the balance. It's all about finding the balance. And if you're looking to connect more, then stepping outside of your comfort zone is how I found the balance. And again, I want to reiterate this over and over again. I am still learning, and I want to let you know that I am not a medical professional. Anything that I tell you is from personal experience, or I've done the research to look into it. I've read a book, I've read an article, I've talked to a few people, they're just asking them how they feel about certain topics, and this is where I'm getting my information. So I would say take it how you want. I want you to take it in a positive way. I want you to be able to relate to it and take it and turn it into your own and make it work for you, so that you can find what you dream, what you desire, your goal, what's going to make you happy, or what's going to make the days brighter. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for everybody. And if I could just help one person accomplish that, I feel so much better, honestly. So let's talk about, there was something I wanted to talk about, the facts, because you think, okay, what's she talking about? I could sit in my house and for a week and not care, because guess what? I pay this high up rent. I like to cook. I'm making money from my house because I'm creating content, or I'm working from home. I don't have to deal with traffic. I don't have to deal with people's attitudes and energies. Like, there's so many reasons why you could say, I don't need this help. And the beauty about the social media is you don't have to watch, okay? So if this is not for you, it's okay. It is absolutely okay. But if it is, I just want to talk about some interesting facts that I found when I was looking into human connection. And there was a study in 2010. It was by Dr. Holt Lunstad and colleagues. And they examined, they examined the effect that social connections have on people. And what they came to find out was social connections increase the odds of survival by around 50%. And I was thinking, oh wow, okay, that's enough for me to be like, this is the topic I want to talk about, because if it's increasing the odds of survival around 50%, that's enough of a high percentage that makes me think, okay, it's worth people learning that connection is important. It's more than just, hey, how you doing? You know, it's more than that. It starts with that, absolutely. But, there are 4 types of connection. And I go over it here. So we're going to start with just basically the first one that I researched was physical connection. And it was kind of like what I said, the gesture of, saying hi and smiling at someone, a hug, high five, a kiss on the cheek, on the head, whatever, if it's your partner, the kiss, whatever. Those are the type of physical connection that your body craves. And without it, sometimes you tend to feel lonely. And so that is a common struggle. Loneliness is at a rise. I definitely heard Mel Robbins talk about it several times, just how people are lonely and they don't even know why they're lonely, right? They have 10,000 followers and, they have all this connection online, and they talk to people on the phone and they FaceTime, but yet they still are feeling kind of lonely. And it could be because you're lacking the physical touch. I mean, I could hug myself right now. That feels good. But, you need that physical touch. You need that interaction. So definitely, one of the things I wanted to talk about was that first physical connection, and it's very important. And, when I was on there researching, I saw it was a study actually from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. And it stated that strong connections are linked to lower levels of depression and anxiety. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I've been the type of person, I don't know if you're the type of person, but I can't juggle too many people in my life at once, right? I have the 4 kids, I have my mother, I have my sister, and then I'll have maybe 2 friends, maybe 3, but it's a juggling game, for me. And I've never really had like, oh, I have these 10 people in my friend group and we're gonna go out to dinner, and I've never really been part of a large group like that. And it's so easy to fall into a depression to where you don't even realize that that's what's wrong. Oh, I didn't even know I was depressed. Because you're just going through your everyday motions. You're stuck in what I like to call the carousel of life. And it's just if you, carousel, merry-go-round, whatever you want to call it, you get stuck in it, right? And it's just round and round you go. You wake up in the morning, you do your morning routine, right? Have your coffee, you want to take a shower, get dressed. Then if your commute, okay? So whether you're taking the kids to school first, or whether you're going to work first, whatever the commute is, you're out and about, right? In the hustle bustle. And kind of just on autopilot. And then you get to work and you're interacting with workers, or you're just focusing on your work, whatever your job may be. Then it's time to go home and you deal with the traffic of going home. Then you maybe pick up the kids or take them to soccer or after school programs, whatever you got going on. And then it's back home to do dinner and nighttime closing for the house. Just shut everything down. And then sometimes, you'll have, oh, I just want to wind down and take this moment for myself. I've definitely been guilty of doing that. It's staying up late just so that I can have a moment to myself. But in all of that, round and round we go, and you get lost on the carousel, just going round and round. And you don't even realize you're on autopilot. You don't even realize how this is affecting your mental health. And I think that it's time for you to start getting off that carousel, right? And I'm not telling you to lose the routine. I want you to keep the routine. I definitely do. Routine is vital, okay? You just have to build that connection within yourself so that you can be aware of when you get lost in that routine. Because I've gotten lost in the routine, I'd say maybe twice in my life as an adult, to where I was like truly lost and didn't even know really what was going on with myself. And like I said, I've been on the self awareness journey for a year and a month. It was that last August. And I'm 36 years old. So it took some time to get here, and I'm still learning and growing. And I decided to document my journey so that people who are going through the same things can see that you're not alone. Okay, while you may be sitting in your house alone, or watching movies and watching social media and creating, you're not alone. Okay, and I just want to let the person who's watching this know that we are so relatable, more than you think. And sometimes it takes that step out of your normal routine to look up and smell the roses. Like just step outside, get some sunlight, step out of the routine, walk away from it for a second. Take that moment, because no one's going to give it to you. Okay? So put yourself on that priority list and make yourself a priority to make sure that you're having a fulfilled life. And I said this before, these things that I tell you, it's not going to be overnight. If I'm a little over a year in and I'm still learning, I love it. But just think about it. It's not going to happen overnight. And if you think it's going to happen that way, then I hate to tell you, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. I mean, if it does happen for you, I'm so happy for you. Yes. But I've just, based on the people that I have talked to in my life, I just don't see it happen for many, where it's a hero that comes and saves them, or someone makes the choices for them that leads them into a happier lifestyle. I just don't know from personal experience. And there was another thing that I wanted to, this was another fact that I saw, that reward centers in the brain activate when we experience genuine interactions. And I got that from watching this TED Talk from Molly Carell on human connection. And what that brought me to was the second type of connection, which is mental connection, okay? Which can be so many things, right? But it's all about your mind. So if your brain is, the reward part of your brain is like, oh my gosh, look at this interaction. This person is being kind to me. We're talking and they're listening. They're actively listening to me. And what I said about mental connection was, I want to tell you about an example that happened with me recently. Because an act of kindness is a way to build a mental connection, right? So you're not touching me, it's something that you decided to do, and I'm on the receiving end of that. So my brain is like, wow, like my mind is like, wow, that person just did that for me and they don't even know me. So let me tell you a story. I was at the store and I was only going there. Master procrastinator, waited to the last minute to do something. So I was kind of in a rush, but I've been practicing my breathing and was staying calm. I wasn't like, I was just standing in line. I didn't think that my energy was giving off, I'm in a rush, but I only had 2 items. So there was 2 people in front of me, and one was an older woman. She had white hair, and she had maybe about 10 items. And she turns around and she looks at me and she says, she smiles and she says, would you like to go in front of me? And I was like, no, that's okay. And she says, you just have two things. It's okay. And I said, thank you so much. It's okay. I'm okay. You're good. And she says, it doesn't cost anything to be kind. And I just get too emotional about it right there, because that was like a true message. Because during this journey of self-improvement, self-awareness for myself, is to be just a little bit kinder. And for her to give me that message of, it doesn't cost anything to be kind, I truly felt like it was a message from God. It was like, this angel just turned around and just laid this message on me. I didn't feel like I was in a rush, but maybe she sensed something, or maybe I just had to hear that message. So she turns back around. So now it's her turn, and he's ringing her up, and she's talking. She's a kind, I can tell. She knows about connection. I said, she got dressed. She was looking so cute. She got dressed up, did her hair, went to the store, and now she's making connections wherever she goes. Like I said, she turned around to give me that message. We did not cross paths throughout the entire store, but then she's talking to the cashier, and she's being kind to him, telling him about the little air fryer things and how great it is for an air fryer, and just giving him tips. And it was just beautiful. I could just sense her energy. And I was looking at her, and I'm just like smiling, because she made me smile because of her kindness. And now I guess as I talk about it now, and I did the studies of like the reward center, and the brain was going off like, this woman just gave me this message for no reason, to be kind. I absolutely love it. And I'm just looking at her, and I'm thinking, wow, she looks so cute. She just must have got dressed to go and run her errands. And, with being that she had white hair, she definitely looked older. And she was still very active and standing up straight and functioning on her own. And that's something good to see. And it could be because she's always making connections. So I was thinking in my head, I love the way she's dressed. And I look at her shoes, and they're the most adorable shoes. And I'm like, oh my God, they're so cute. And I'm like, should I tell her? And I'm like, I don't know. She's kind of talking to the cashier, and I start to get in my head about these doubts, like if I should say something to her, right? And I'm like, and then she turns and she looks at me, she smiles, and I said, I just wanted to say that I love your sandals. And she was like, oh, and it was given back to her. And I was like, her response and the energy and that interaction alone just made me feel so much brighter. It brightened my day, and I hope that it brightened her day. And it would be funny if, she watched it. I don't know. She'd be like, oh my gosh, I remember that girl. She did say my shoes was cute. And that would be nice. I would love that. It would be full circle. But it's just how simple something like that can trigger your mental. And that's super, super important. The third type of connection is emotional. Emotional connection. A lot of times we are connected without even knowing, right? Our kids go to the same school. We work at the same place. We're in the same circle, but yet we've never personally connected. So it's in the world where it's a lack of connection. It's easy to just go to work right now. Like I work, and there are people I've never connected with as long as I've worked at this job. But now lately, since I've opened myself up to these connections, people have been talking to me that I've seen for years and have never had this conversation. So it's about opening yourself up physically, mentally, emotionally. You have to be willing to let these connections happen, because you're going to go to work regardless, right? Now you work from home, maybe try to make a connection there. Y'all relate somehow. And it's okay if you don't mesh right away. It's okay. I mean, you tried, you took that step to make that connection. And sometimes you have to go through several connections to find that real valuable one, the one that clicks the most. So that's important to put yourself out there. And with emotional connections, a lot of the times too, is sharing similar experiences. Like I said, going into the same job and experiencing similar things there. Kids going to the same schools, same programs, same sports, and experiences there, wins and losses of the games or whatever's going on at the school. And going to the gym. Oh my gosh. I go to the gym. I absolutely love the gym. And one of the things when I started going to the gym is I always had my headphones on and the resting face. Don't talk to me. I don't want you to talk to me. Don't talk to me. I came here to work out. I came here to get my head in the game. So don't say nothing to me. I'm not here to make connections. But the further I got along on this journey, I stopped wearing the headphones, right? Because I wanted to hear those noises around me. It started like, honestly, I still don't. I don't listen to music when I go to the gym. I know a lot of people do like it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I can hear the music that's playing in the gym and I like it. But to shut my ears out to everyone in the gym, it's just not what I want to do anymore. It's not aligned with who I am anymore. I want to open myself up for these connections. So I don't have that resting face anymore. I'm looking around, I'm hearing the sounds, I'm hearing the grunting and the weights going up and down and dropping on the ground. And it's exciting. It fuels me and it makes me smile. And then when somebody looks at me who maybe is not having a great day and they see me and I smile at them and they smile at me, and I could have just made their day. A smiling is contagious. My gosh, when when I had one job, I used to smile all the way. As soon as you walked in the door, you saw me smiling from a distance, waving you in like, "Hey, come here, how you doing?" And that would set them off. It was a hotel. And they would come in from traveling, and I would just welcome them with the biggest smile. And it made a difference to so many people. You wouldn't believe. Just a smile, just a welcoming face. They may not have seen me for the rest of their trip, but that first experience of that interaction could mean so much to them. And I'm going to tell you right now, not everybody was acceptive of that smile, and it's okay. You have to let them. My girl, no. You have to let them, okay? Let them go through their emotions. Just because you're smiling and you're trying to uplift people doesn't mean that they particularly want to be uplifted right now. Let them, right? So with that being said, so we talked about the gym and the emotional connections and opening yourself up to it, right? So the fourth type of connection that we're going to talk about today is spiritual, right? Spiritual connection. I am all about the energy. I've always been about the energy, but it wasn't until recently that I've been able to kind of dive in and look into different types of energies and how you pick up on them, or even not fully research, but open my mind up to it so that I'm like paying attention to the different energies that are around me. Because you can walk into the room and you can feel the energy. You can absolutely feel the energy of the room when you walk in, especially if you're open to the idea of our aura and our energy. It just radiates off of us. And some are more connected with self than others, that they're able to sense it a lot sooner. Some are still learning and are not able to sense it. And I'm not a pro. I'm definitely still learning. And I plan on learning something new every day. So you have to, it's always going to come back to this pretty much for today's episode, is opening yourself up, allowing these interactions to happen, allowing these connections to happen. When it comes to the spiritual energy, it's a feeling on the inside, really. For me, it's a feeling on the inside. If I feel calm around someone, I feel like that's a good energy. If something is not sitting quite right with me, so that energy might be off. Now, I'm not saying that their energy is bad. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it might be off. The energy is big when it comes to connections. Because if you try to connect with someone and their energy is not accepting of that, then it can cause you to overthink and shut down. And that is not what you want to do. So I want to give you the tip of try not to overthink it. Try not to take it personal. You never know what someone's going through. What are they thinking? What's happening at home? What just may have happened? Finances, family, pressure, depression, anxiety, all these things are going on in someone's mind, and you have to just understand and be kind to others. So if you're trying to make that connection, be genuine. Be genuine. Actively listen. Okay? Be empathetic to people, because you just don't know. You just don't know. And number one, and my main one is be kind. Be kind. Because like that lady said, it's free. It don't cost nothing. So it's so easy. And there was something else I wanted to talk about before we end this episode, is self-connection. Okay? In order to even get to connect with others, you have to be able to connect with yourself. And that's where I started. That's where I would suggest you start. And it's definitely proven. When I do my research, I go on Google and I search and I look at these articles and I look at, TED Talks and podcasts and things like that to get the information from. So I am learning. I want to put the citing of where I'm finding these things in the info so that you can look it up yourself. So just bear with me. Give me grace. I will get it right. But definitely, I'm trying to cite them more so that you understand, like, this is not just me babbling. I'm investing my time to learn more about it so that I can share with others what's helping me. So I want to give you some tips on how to build your self-connection. Is you have to have a strong connection with your inner self in order to be able to connect with others. And the process of becoming connected with yourself is the awareness that we talked about, right? And how do you find that awareness? In a world where there's so much noise all the time, how do you just tune out and be with self, right? How I started was my video logging, okay? Hearing and seeing yourself in real time. If you don't want to be in front of the camera, you can go and talk to yourself in the mirror. You can go ahead and journal. If you don't like to talk and hear your voice maybe at the moment, that's understandable and it's relatable. I don't want to hear myself talk all the time. Sometimes I'm rewatching the videos and I'm like, all right, enough. I don't want to hear myself talk anymore. Surprisingly, believe it or not, okay? I don't like to hear myself talk all the time. But when I started the journaling consistently, the journaling allowed me to not hear my actual voice, but to hear my inner voice. And I would suggest it. People like to overthink everything. What will I talk about? What, how long will I write? I might write too much. What if I don't write enough? Darling, just start. Write something. Say hi. Today was a good day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? It's whatever works for you. Talk about, have it be a Bible journal. Have it be a fitness journal. Have it be a growth journal. Like, it's all about tracking that progress so that you can look back at it. And I was just telling somebody the other day, when I flip, like, it's a book, and when I flip through my journal, I can feel the energy radiating off of it. And sometimes it makes me like my heart beat real fast. Sometimes it makes me cry. It depends on where my mental state is. So journaling, okay? Self-reflection. Honestly, I combine the two. I like to take a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes to reflect. And I don't say anything. Because self-reflection to me is about that inner voice. We want that inner voice, not that outer voice, okay? We want that inner voice to tell us what's next, right? So I'll just think in my head and I'll ask myself a question. What's today? What are we thinking today? And if you're like me, them thoughts just they start coming. They're like But if you are, look at it like this, because I like to visualize things, right? If you are having all those thoughts, how it points out to me is one of those thoughts are bold. It's like writing on paper, right? And you see in your writing, but then there's a title and it's bold and it's underlined and it's capital and it just reaches out to me. That's how it gets me. And that self-reflection of 2 to 3 minutes right there sets me off for the tone for what I'm going to write in my journal. And I only do a very minimal paragraph. I've definitely done half a page. It's a small book, but I've done half a page. I've done, 5 to 6 sentences and my usual opening, my usual closing. And I absolutely love it. And I definitely changed the format of my journal through this process because it's all about growing and tracking. You learn what works for you. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you find different things to try so that you can see what works for you, what works best for you. And another one, I said this in my last episode, is that to speak love into yourself. Be kind to yourself. If you want to be kind to others, you have to start with self. Okay, say something nice. And I would suggest going to watch the Mel Robbins 8 Things to Tell Yourself in the Morning podcast episode. I have been doing that for the last, it's going to be 4 weeks next week. So 3 weeks. And when I tell you, baby, those 8 things are like speaking love into yourself. And I've sent it to a lot of people and it won't resonate with everybody. And that's what I say. You have to find what works for you. So if you watch the episode and you say, this Nikki, this ain't it. This is what I just wasted, an hour of my life watching this. Matter of fact, I didn't even watch the whole thing because it wasn't resonating to me because it just didn't work. And that's okay. That's okay. But don't give up. If you want to find something that's going to improve your mental health when it comes to building your self-connection, then keep looking. Just because what I said or what Mel said or what the self-help books or, affirmations and all that stuff, whatever that you're trying, if it's not working, keep trying. You can find something. You're going to be able to find something. Trust me. But it's not an overnight process, so just trust it. Trust the time it takes to get to it, but do the work, okay? And lastly, the last tip that I would suggest that I have recently been doing much better at, and again, learning, is meditation. Meditation kind of is similar to self-reflection, but there are different ways to do it, so find out what works for you. But what works for me, honestly, it doesn't even have to be completely quiet. Some people need complete silence. I am a Bronx girl, so that noise never bothered me. I have 4 kids, so the noise doesn't bother me. Honestly, if it's too quiet, I'm like, oh no, like turn the TV on for some background noise because I need some noise. Like I am used to the street sounds from the city, living in the city. I am used to the kids breaking things and fighting, so I definitely am one that I can figure out how to meditate with sounds, but I will tell you this, it's about balance. I've definitely been outside in nature and meditated, and it was glorious. I've been inside and meditated. I try to meditate whenever I can, and really what I do personally is just I think of the word meditate. I think of the word meditate just over and over in my head, and I'm like, meditate, meditate, meditate. And sometimes it just takes me right to it. Sometimes it puts me to sleep. Hey, and that works. If you're having trouble to sleeping, you can try that. But that's definitely something I got. I went online and I typed in, ways to help build self-connection. So there is an abundance of articles on that. So I didn't want to just cite one because it was so many that I just kept reading. And honestly, this is not just about the articles. This is something that I've been doing. So it's personal to me. I journaled, I self-reflect, I speak love into myself, I meditate. So these are things that I'm personally doing that's working for me. So it's not just about the articles. The articles are just signed, sealed, and delivered. It just confirms what I'm saying. Okay. And we're getting to the end of it because we're here at 41 minutes. So I just wanted in closing to let you know that you can do it. It's just going to take some time. Okay. And just set attainable goals. Set realistic goals. Don't be so hard on yourself building, putting that pressure. It just makes things seem difficult when you're not able to achieve them. Why build that pressure unnecessarily? Make it attainable, make it realistic. And I'm always going to say that. And if you need some motivational words, you can always find me here, because that's what I want to do. I want to uplift you. I want to build you up and let you know that you can be, because if y'all are better, you're making the world better. And that's what we need now. We need that so much. We need love. We need connection. We need it. And I want to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming and, hearing me talk about these topics and watching me. I absolutely love it. I will be getting the podcast on audio only. If you don't want to watch it here on YouTube, you can listen to it. So I will have the details on that, and you can definitely go follow me on my socials. I am going to put that here in the bottom of the video. So please, 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 if you want to show your support, if you like what I'm talking about, if you like what you see and what you hear, please, please subscribe. Subscribe. I am on this journey. I am experimenting with this podcast, and I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to give my effort and my energy to it for the next year at least, to see if this is actually going to help others and to track my progress, because that's what it's here for. And you might see something new every time you tune in. Every time you tune in, you might see something new. And that's what the growth is about. And tracking it just makes it that much better. So please track your progress however you want to do it. A notes app, a notebook, a video journal, a voice memo, a dry erase board, however you want to track it. Accountability partners so that you can build that connection. I highly suggest it. Absolutely. Surround yourself with these people. Okay, and I want to hear from you. If you have ways that help you that I didn't mention on here, please comment, because that's what the community is about. It's about sharing stuff. We don't want that gatekeeping, as like they like to say. I'm not telling because it's mine. I ain't even gonna lie, that was me. That was one of the main reasons why I didn't want to come on here and talk, because I was scared someone was gonna steal my idea. Like, are you kidding me? What? And then I'm listening to these podcasts and I'm watching this social media and I'm like, a lot of people are talking about the same thing. But Mel and Jay Shetty, he's my second favorite podcaster, they tell me authenticity. That's what it's all about. We may be talking about the same things, But can't nobody do it like me, because I'm the one and only. You're the one and only. Can't nobody do it like you. All right, so just know that. Remind yourself that. Speak that to yourself. Look in the mirror. I'm going to tell you that every episode. Look in that mirror. Look in your eyes and speak to yourself and let it be known that you are great and you are able to do it, whatever it is you want to do. So please like, comment, share. If you know somebody who you want to connect with, or you've been talking, I was just talking about connection with that person the other day, send it to them. Absolutely, send it. Subscribe so you know that I'm posting new episodes. I will be here every week, and I want to just thank you for your support thus far, and I'm going to see you next week. So as always, thanks for listening. Mwah.